Everyone, welcome back to Jules Nuggets. My name is Juliana and you're watching my channel. First of all, I want to welcome everyone into the month of August. I hope that this month is wonderful. I hope this month is kind to us and may all our dreams come true in August. So as promised, this is the second part to the video that I uploaded in July. This is the concluding part to that interview. Thank you to everyone that has sent me a message personally, having watched that video. And also your likes, your comment on YouTube is very encouraging. Thank you so much. I'd like for you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the concluding parts of this series, and I'll come back to you afterwards. My name is Juliana, you're watching Jules Nuggets.
On your Wednesday night, and we're having we've been empowered by Dr. Juliana Ojedran, founder and managing director of Guiding Care, delivering quality services. And I was really impressed, Juliana, for just that work, just that little element of difference that you're putting out. And it's not just little. I know it's quite significant, but it's that one step forward that makes a difference to people's lives, and that is absolutely amazing. Mark Watt. You okay? Because I think you sort of went quiet on us. I'm a bit concerned about.
I'm just stunned. I mean, it's amazing how you see people just achieve their goals in life, and I think a lot of people want to achieve their goals, but we've got Juliana here who actually has achieved their goals, and that's fantastic. And I suppose there's two questions I'd like to start off with second half, and we are going to get into a range of things this second half. But Juliana, two questions is, I suppose. You've achieved your goal. How you feeling about that? And I suppose, what's your next goal now? Have you got what's next for you?
Well, I've achieved maybe just quarter of my first goal. There is still a lot. There is still a lot. I've set the bar really high. So help me God. What's next for me? I guess so. We are in just 3 states. In Australia, would like to expand to all the remaining states and territory as well. We want to make our presence known and also delivering the same quality disability service that we are doing in those, in Victoria, in Queensland, and also in New South Wales. We want to be able to extend that as well. And as a businesswoman, I guess I'm also looking at all this leveraging, and because I have a certain level of satisfaction and happiness being able to deliver services to people that truly need us. It's not. This is quite different from anything that I've ever done, because the impact is you see the impact immediately. You feel it. It's in their words, it's in their actions, and just the way that they look at you. I went into a family. One of my clients, I went into the family home, and just the mom just held my hands. That's all she did, because she was very thankful, and you feel continue to do what I know how to do best.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me. I think we might have internet trouble somewhere, either here or with you. But hey, Juliana, just trying to. Obviously, you're right. You're working with the most vulnerable people in Victoria, and for those of us that maybe don't think that we're the most vulnerable, like Paul and myself, we're struggling with a bit of lockdown, and a lot of people listening to the show would be struggling with lockdown. But tell us about people with disability. How are they going? Has it changed the way you're working? What's going on for them? You can just imagine, I think, people with disabilities, people that have got some different things going on in their lives. It must be a really, really tough time.
I speak for myself and my experience at Guiding Care. If we've never been grateful in our lives, I think COVID-19 gives us that opportunity to stop and just reflect and say, I'm thankful. A lot of things we take for granted, even as able-bodied people, and even with some people living with disability as well. A typical example is one of the activities that we do in the NDIS space. So it's called community access. It's very simple. Take someone from their home, take them out in the community. It could be for doctor's appointment. It could be they want to, get their hair done, their nails done. It could be for anything. Now, all of a sudden, because of their disability, they become extra vulnerable and they cannot step outside of their home.
Yeah.
And when and in the past, we just used to feel, oh, it's just taking this person from X to, A to B. But we need to start thinking as an organization, how do I still provide service to this person? Now, I think for me personally, there's a deeper understanding of why we had to be there to begin with. So it's not about taking them to the shops. It's not about taking them to the doctor's appointment. It's that physical presence, especially for people that live by themselves and they live with disability. It is that companionship. Mm. It is those things that we take for granted. And then when you pause as an organization and then you start to think outside the square, how can we be innovative in our service delivery? What can we do? Well, we're not going to do Skype, we're not going to just call them. They're used to people calling them from afar, but they're used to seeing us every day, whenever the appointment is. A simple example is, out of all my clients, there is one particular client that I love all my clients, but she's very special to my heart. So I've not been able to find someone, a carer for this lady, because she is, on paper, you probably don't even want to speak to her. Yeah. But I met her and it was just, we had this instant connection that I was reluctant to offer her someone else to be with her. What does she need from me? All she needed from me was companionship. Mm. And then if she had to go to the bank, she'd be like, oh, can you take me to the bank? I'd be like, well, what's the magic word? And then she'd go, please. Then we go to the bank. She wants to go do her hair. What's the magic word? Please. We go there as well. But now with COVID, that all these places are shut and she really can't go there. So what do we do? But because I know she always looks forward to my visit. And every time I go, she always makes two requests. Can you please bring me a cappuccino? And can you please bring me a Whopper? Yeah, a cappuccino and a Whopper. She always looks forward to this, and she looks forward to Juliana bringing her a Whopper and a cappuccino. Mm. But then we go out, but now we can't go out. So what we do is, so I had to think on my feet, which men were the most handsome men in your days? Oh my goodness, big mistake. And she gave me a long list of actors that she liked when she was younger. And thank God for Wikipedia. So every week is a pick an actor, find out about their lives, find out who their wives. So she actually knows their wives as well, or their husbands. And then we go through these sessions of, I guess, history about some of our favorite actors and actresses. At that point in time, I got my job really is not to just do an activity. It's just being there, being compassionate, just being there. And of course, we take precautions before we go. We ask questions like, who has been to the house? Has anyone new been to the house as well? Are you coughing? Do you have any, we have all these COVID-19 related questions that we're supposed to ask before we go. But at the end of the day, it opened my eyes to how vulnerable people living with disability are.
I think you're right. I mean, during this time, Juliana, we're all feeling the isolation, a bit of loneliness, disconnection from people because, we're all having to, we're in lockdown, obviously, in Melbourne. And so that's a tough time. But, maybe people with disability, they're a bit hidden. I suppose we don't all understand some of their challenges, some of the things that are going on. And you really, it must be pretty tough having a disability, living by yourself during lockdown.
Absolutely. Even those that are not living by, themselves, they have activities that they have their alone time as well. They also have times with their family, and then they have times with their support workers. All of a sudden, everything is up in the air, especially people with intellectual disability as well, that are used to having a routine. Now that breaks my heart, because that is simply the hardest, because there's no way of communicating why we can't go to the pool or why we can't go to the park. There is no way of communicating that to the extent which they would really, really understand. So I know a lot of family that really, really struggled when we had the first lockdown. It took a lot. People living with disability, it's a different ballgame. It truly is. And I mean, we do the best that we can. I just hope that there's other ways in which they can be accommodated as well, especially during times like this, where they only rely on services that Disability Service Organization provides.
And what's the gaps, you reckon? I mean, I'm just thinking that, you know, for some carers, it must be pretty tough during lockdown, looking after people with disabilities. Where's the gaps and the needs that are sort of coming out even stronger now that we're in lockdown, Juliana? What are you seeing out there?
I wouldn't say gaps in the traditional sense of gaps. I'm very happy that you also mentioned carers as well, because now that everyone is at home, everyone sees everything, you know. And someone that used to rely on you 20% of the time now relies on you 60% of the time. So even for the carers, it's really very hard for them. For the person with disabilities, also hard too. What are the gaps? No one has seen COVID-19, at least not in our lifetime. You know, it's really hard to say. These are some of the infrastructures that can be put, you know, we can put in place for people with disability when this sort of things happen. There are a lot of variables that just impact the whole thing, and it is absolutely crazy. So I can't tell you that I know that there's a particular gap and how it can be filled, because this is insane. I think the only thing that the Victorian government and Australian government is doing as a whole is just the acknowledgement of those essential services, and the way that they've allowed us to continue to deliver services as to people most needing of our guiding care. That is something that is really commendable. The fact that recognition has been given to us, and knowing that we truly matter when it comes to providing care for people that needs our care.
Yeah, good on you, Juliana. It's great to have people like yourselves and organisations like Guiding Care caring for those people that are in need. Now, I have to talk to you about the South Australian situation, because obviously a lot of people are pretty worried sometimes about the care given to those people that really rely on people to be responsible and all that. Has there been any changes, or what's happening to ensure that people get the right care out there?
I really can't speak on the South Australian situation, because it's another, I guess, it's part of the disability service. It's another service entirely. But in terms of finding care, it's quite hard. And there is no, because I work also with other organizations, there is no checklist, to say, okay, oh, you do this, that means that you're good. Oh, you do that, that means that you're good. But I guess for people that really want to know is also listening to check if the service provider is listening to you, listening to your needs. Because if you're a carer of a person with disability, and if they're not listening to you, understand this, they're not listening to the person with disability as well. Yeah. So I think it goes back on the caregivers, the primary caregivers, to be very vigilant in people that they hand over, the care of, the care of the people that their loved ones do. Just check for things. If it's in a home environment, we'll just go in there, just drop in without letting anyone know. Ask questions. Listen to how they treat other people. There is no such thing as a one-off time. If you see her behavior, that's probably how they behave there. That's actually perhaps how they act there. So I guess it's on us. Let's ask relevant questions and listen to the answers that they give to us, I guess. We just need to be extra vigilant. These people, they are vulnerable people. We need to be extra vigilant.
Yeah. And, Paul, this is interesting stuff, isn't it? The whole disability sector, it can't be forgotten. Yeah. We have to make sure that we really get these insights. It's so important, isn't it?
It is, definitely. Absolutely. And just on that point, Juliana, Mark, Tina Schrader has just made a comment through they're bringing loads of good points to the table, Juliana, so that's great, and also
Thank
so
you.
true. So just want to thank our guests, our viewers for, being part of participation in that as well. But you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's great. And don't forget, on Community Heart with Paul and Mark, we're here every Wednesday night. We've got Dr. Juliana, the director, the managing director and founder of Guiding Care. So very
That's
privileged
right,
to
yes.
have you here, Juliana.
Thank you.
Yeah, Juliana, can you just tell us a bit personally, how have you reacted to this whole COVID and the second lockdown? What's happened with you?
Okay, sorry, I'm laughing. My mom probably saw us on live, and then she's calling me. I don't know how she wants me to work both. Mom, I'm on the thing, so yeah, thank you. I think first of all, we need to stop putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, saying, oh, how do we take advantage of this COVID situation? What can we do to better? It will come. If it wants to come, it will come. Some of us, we gain weight. Some of us. So personally, what I've done is I was able to actually kick a bad habit. So which is I'm now an ex-smoker. So I guess COVID gives you, I think for me, it gives you the opportunity to really think like, do you really want to be doing that long term? So thankfully I did that. I also picked up exercising, started walking 100 kilometers, no, not 100 kilometers, 10,000 steps a day, which has also been very helpful. It helps me clear my head. It just makes me feel good. And I've always wanted to study at Harvard University, and just because of the Harvard experience. And I decided during this period to actually do a course at Harvard. So I'm currently doing a 6-week course that finishes at the end of this month. So wow. I'm learning heaps as well, and I've been learning a lot of stuff. So Mark and I have lots to talk about at the end of this show. So I'm learning heaps as well, but it did not come during the first, lockdown. It just be patient. Everyone wants to, take this opportunity to do a lot of good stuff. If it doesn't come, that's okay. I wish I had a cure for cancer, but I don't. It's just the way that it is. It is the way that it is. So my advice is just, I don't know. It will come. If it will come, it will come. And if it doesn't come, that's okay too.
Yeah, I think it's great, Juliana, that you've still got this desire to study, to learn, to grow.
It's amazing.
And you obviously got that determination and also pushing yourself. So it's just a fantastic thing. And I suppose that in itself, that attitude, that mindset you've got is going to help you to get through the lockdown and whatever happens after the lockdown.
Absolutely. Yes. I was going to say absolutely, but just caught myself midway. Well,
you're absolutely fantastic to have on the show tonight, Juliana. And I suppose, there's a lot of us mere mortals listening to you that, might not have achieved the sorts of things you're doing. But obviously we want to get through our days and we want to be happy, content. What's your advice to people listening to the show? They're all sitting at home in lockdown. Some are getting a bit flat. What's your advice to them as we sort of start to get to the end of our show?
Walking helps. And that's if we are fortunate enough to be able to do that. For me, I found walking really, really good for me because you just clear out your mind. You think about things that you would not necessarily think of. You see something and you can relate it back to something. And I don't just walk one particular route. So I could go left today, I'll go right tomorrow, and then the next day I just go in circles. I think walking helps. If you could just get out of the bed, get out of that chair, and just step out and have a walk. And if you can't do that, look, at the end of the day, life is short. Do whatever makes you feel happy. It's not the best times, but you can only try. Yeah, whatever makes you happy, that's what you should do.
Correct.
Yeah, and I suppose the other thing is, we've got another 4 or 5 weeks to go in this lockdown. And, I suppose we've got to think about life after the lockdown as well, with our jobs and our family and friends.
Yes.
What are you doing? Okay, you're in lockdown. You can't really see anyone. I mean, I suppose we've got to be proactive, don't we? Text someone,
Yes.
ring someone.
Yes.
That's the sort of things you're doing to keep in touch with friends and family. I notice your mum's on the phone,
Yeah. And so, yes, these are some of the things that we take for granted. Yes. So talk to people, talk to your friends, learn something new online if you want to. Just whatever makes, like I said, whatever makes you happy. And there is this thing. So I started a YouTube page. It's called Juice Nuggets. And one of the things I said that is post-COVID, what does employment look like? Now, a lot of people have applied to jobs, severally, and they've got knocked back. Now, I think the COVID pandemic just makes us everyone. I think the COVID just humbled everyone, because it has no respect for who you think you are. It's not who you are, who you think you are. COVID has no respect for you. So I guess my advice is for people that are looking for work, because of this humility, this newfound humility. If you remember the name of the interviewer, or you remember the website, find someone on LinkedIn, find people out on LinkedIn, send them, introduce yourself to them, ask them why you did not get that job if they remembered you. Ask them why you did not get that job. At this time, I think everyone is quite humble, and they might be able to give you feedback if they remember. So, it could be little feedback that would help us increase our chances of getting that job post COVID-19. So I guess that's my main advice to people, especially a lot of people that have been out of jobs now. Just dig out those old rejection letters, especially the ones that you felt you did so well and you had no idea why you didn't get the job. This is the time to reach out to those recruiters, reach out to them and ask them why, because everyone is humbled.
Yeah. So, hey, tell us, why did you start a YouTube channel? I mean, it's not because you're a bit bored. You haven't got much to do with your study, your business. You're a lead tenant looking after kids. I mean, you've got about 10 things on the go, and you've started a YouTube channel. Why is that?
I don't know what I was thinking. I think it was, I guess it's one of those things where you say, oh, I think it was during the first lockdown, and you go, oh, I have so much time. I need to do something. So the reason why I actually started the channel was I think I saw a very insightful video, and I thought, oh, this is really good. And, even my journey here as a young woman, there are a lot of things that we're going through blindly. And like me, like everyone else, we're all doing adulthood blindly. So I started the channel so that I can talk about some of my experiences, share it with people, especially experience around employment, life, little things like investment. What should you buy? What should you sell? Just little things that I've done myself and I know about. For example, how I quit smoking is also on my YouTube channel. So that's why I just wanted to share with people how I did, how I've done things or how I'm doing it. I also ask for their feedback as well. Let me know how I can improve on this if you've done it X, Y, Z. So I think it's a lot of learning. I love to learn. So it's a lot of learning and also teaching as well.
Fantastic. It's been so great to have you on the show. So inspirational that you're continuing to do things. You're reaching out. You actually did that YouTube channel to hand on some things to other people. And we're hoping that tonight's show, and I know you've really handed out a lot about yourself tonight, helping people and connecting and sharing your story, which I think is very inspirational. And I'm sure, Paul, you've taken a few notes, mate, from Dr. Juliana.
Look, from Dr. Juliana, I have. There's a ton of them, but also I want to be encouraged tonight. So the impact that you've had, Dr. Juliana Toomer says, great achievements, Juliana, really encouraging. And I'll just put that up on the screen now. I don't know if you guys could see that before, which is fantastic. Yeah. And also from Tulalope, I hope I pronounced the name correctly. Awal, as that's a great job as well. So fantastic. But you're doing something great.
The name is Tolulope. Tolulope Olawale. Yeah.
Olawale.
It's my cousin.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's great.
I was very close, but very, very encouraging. Well done. That's fantastic. No, really good. Go, Mark.
Yeah. Well, look, I want to thank you again, Dr. Juliana, for coming on Community Heart with Paul and Mark. Again, it's just been inspirational, fantastic, especially during this time where people are a little bit flat. I reckon you've brought a ray of sunshine to everybody, a bit of inspiration, a bit of hope as we get through this thing, that anything's possible, really. And I think it's fantastic. So thanks again for coming on the show, eh?
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thanks, Juliana. Well,
all the best. Can you just, if anyone wants to get involved or know anything about your company, how would they go about that?
So our website is www.guidingcare.com.au, or the quickest place to find me is on LinkedIn. It's Juliana A and my last name Ojediro. I've got my email address up there as well. So it's juliana@guidingcare.com.au. So send me a message, send me an email, and I'm very responsive. I think one of the best feedback that I get is, you're very responsive on the email. I'm like, yes, reply me. Yeah.
fantastic.
So.
Well,
thanks again.
Yeah. No, sorry, I was going to say, please feel free to check out our website, www.guidingcare.com.au.
Fantastic.
Well, look, over to you, Paul, to take us out, mate. But thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks, Dr. Juliana, for being on the show.
Awesome. Thank you.
See you next time, and stay safe. It's great having Dr. Juliana on the show, and thank you to our viewers for checking us out on Facebook Live, and also at our wonderful listeners at 98.9 Northwest FM. Taking it away as we get ready for our next program. I might hit the road there with Wonderwall and Oasis. So I hope that's okay for you, Dr. Juliana and Mr. Mark White. But looking forward to the program. The great man Giuseppe Ardika should be in shortly, taking in the studios, take us out here on Community, here on Northwest FM. See you next time.
See ya. Bye. This interview. I hope that you learned one or two things from this video, and if you feel that you would like for me to perhaps go more in depth about what I do for work, and maybe a little bit explanation about the NDIS, maybe you are a provider or you are a participant and you'd like to start, or you want to get access into the NDIS space, please let me know. I'm happy to do a video if that's what it takes, or if you would like for me to just send you an email or just help out, please feel free to do that. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any comment or you would like to share some things with me, maybe some things that you've done during this isolation period as well that has kept you motivated, please feel free to share with me. I'll be very happy to see what works for you, and hopefully it might work for me as well. Once again, thank you so much. Let me see your comments in the comment section below, and we'll take it from there. You're watching Juice Nuggets, and my name is Juliana. Until next time, be safe. Bye.